My apologies for the tardy start. We were doing an earlier meeting, which ran over, but thank you for your patience. For those of you that are joining us on WebEx, we are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of the WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning for your purposes. So now that it is 6:45, my apologies, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board for August 27, 2024. For the record, we'll do a roll call vote of the board members, starting with Dr. Thor.
Present.
Ms. Sullivan.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
Dr. Narini.
Present.
Ms. Davis.
Present. You went backwards.
I got to change it up periodically. So, Ms. Butler.
Present.
And Tamaya Jackson Long, our student.
Present.
trustee. And I'm here as well. So all of us are here with a full board. I would now like to call the Associated Students of Mesa Community College to come to the podium and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So we will stand and do that. And then students, once you're done, will you introduce yourself so we know who you are? The flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Sen Whittemore. I am the Red Mountain Student Body President, and here are my associates.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Liam Tubman, and I am the president of the Southern and Dobson campus of Mesa Community College.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ethan Hammonds. I'm the executive vice president at Southern and Dobson, and I'm also the Senate chair. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Florian Nguyen, a cabinet member of student government, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luke Hagan. I'm the Vice President of Communications at the Southern and Dobson campus for ASMCC.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Angela Enriquez, Vice President of Operations for the Southern and Dobson College.
Terrific.
Hello, my name is Isabel Neal. I'm the Vice President for ASMCC at the Red Mountain campus.
Thank you very much. And I think I just preempted the intros that are supposed to happen from your advisors, but we've taken it backwards at least. So let me also say we have no substitutions this evening and then move right into the student life reports that are coming from Associated Students of Mesa Community College. Let me start by asking Ms. Beth Ann Wright and Kara Webb to come to the podium. Now, again, they've already introduced themselves, but if you'd like to reintroduce them, we would take it again.
President Bitter-Smith, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, and members of CEC and guests, my name is Beth Ann Wright, and I am the manager of student life and leadership at Mesa Community College. I get the pleasure of working with some pretty passionate and dedicated student leaders, many of whom are here with me today. They've hit the ground running, and they have already participated and talked to new students at our Thunderbird kickoff, as well as helped out at Welcome Week. And so they're going to tell you a little bit more about what they have planned for this semester. I'll invite them to all come up now.
Now that we know who you are, so that's good.
President Bittersmith, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, and members of the CEC and guests, my name is Liam Tubman, and I am the president of the Southern and Dobson campus for Mesa Community College.
I'm Sen Whittemore, ASMCC president of the Red Mountain campus. We represent different MCC locations and the unique needs of the students on our respective campuses, but come together to all serve students of Mesa Community College. We have a really great partnership. As you can see, we have a great team of student leaders that we serve with. They have different responsibilities, leadership skills, experiences, and talents. They will each introduce themselves as we go through our presentation today.
Our terms and service of Our terms and service is just getting started, and we have we've done a lot of training this summer to get ready for this year. So today we are going to tell you about the values and goals we want to focus on, as well as the events and initiatives we'd like to accomplish over the next year. Slide, please.
So one of our initiatives that I'm planning is our mayor forum. We have the amazing opportunity of being in an election year. So to improve civic engagement on campus, I started to plan a candidate forum for our mayors. It's going to look like our students are going to ask questions to learn more about local politics and to get an idea of who we're actually voting for. And we work a lot with the mayor, obviously, with our Mesa College Promise. So stay up to date, and we'd love to invite you when it's ready. Thank you.
And that was Ethan Hammonds. Over the summer, we took time to decide what our core values would be and how we would like to operate as a group. I think it's the next slide. We kind of went a little backwards as well. Down one more, please. To represent our values, we came up with the acronym GROWTH. The word growth represents an overall theme for what we want the school year to be like. We want student engagement to grow, more opportunities for students, and to grow as leaders. Growth stands for grace, respect, optimism, warmth, togetherness, and humor.
Next slide, please. Hello again. I am Luke Hagan, Vice President of Communications on the Southern and Dobson campus. My role assists with notes, agendas, advertisements, and social media. Over the summer, we also came up with goals we wanted to focus on throughout the year. Next slide, please.
My name is Florian Nguyen. I'm in the cabinet. And this year we have 4 main goals that we want to focus on. The first would be to focus on accessibility and safety so that students feel safe when they go to classes. And then we also want to increase student participation, speak club events, presentations, as well as classroom visits. And we also want to help students to manage stress during their final seasons. And last but not least is to expand the communication so that students are aware of the governing board as well as student government so that they are aware of the factors that influence their study.
In my role of Vice President of Operations, I am learning a lot about budgets and focusing on ways that I can support all of the MCC clubs and organizations, as well as leading the Appropriations Committee, the Southern and Dobson.
Hello, once again, I'm Isabel Neal. I'm the newest member of ASMCC at Red Mountain, and I serve as the vice president over at that campus. And this is the first time this position has been filled. I'm so excited to continue and to improve the campus life at Red Mountain. Once we determine our values and goals, we begin to discuss the needs of the students and events and initiatives that we would like to work on. Go down. Possibly. Thank you.
Each of our team members would like to tell you about the initiatives and events we plan to accomplish and why they are important.
Here at MCC, we offer a variety of different opportunities specializing in the arts, including a large selection of different courses that go along between acting, directing, costuming, visual, and other forms of art. We are always constantly looking for new ways and adding and furthering our theatrical arts department, whether it's through dance, musical theater, or just regular theater. So thank you.
Both campuses, we have many clubs and events that go on, and we solely believe that getting involved on campus is important for student success. It's proven, actually. We plan to ask MCC faculty if we can ask them to have us be able to go into their classrooms and introduce ourselves and to present student life and engagement opportunities. We will also plan to hold club competitions, events, and leadership training to support the student-led clubs.
Hello again. It seems I jumped the gun last time, but we have the amazing opportunity of being in an election year. So to improve civic engagement on campus, I've started to plan a candidate forum at Mesa Community College, which would host the 2 nominated candidates to answer questions This will be a huge opportunity for students to learn more about local politics and civic engagement. And also, we work with the mayor on a lot of initiatives such as the Mesa. And I'm Ethan Hammonds, Executive Vice President and Senate Chair.
So for accessibility and disability awareness, we at MCC cater to physically and developmentally disabled students as well, and I myself am one of them. We are in need of updated handicap door buttons on campus and more events catering to disability awareness because we want our disabled students to know that they are being listened to.
One other initiative that I was planning for is the food drive for our Mesa Market at Mesa Community College. We have an initiative called Mesa Market where we receive donations from food banks, and then we'll be able to provide staples as well as toiletries to students. And of course, demand is always higher than what we receive as donations. So we would like to start a college-wide competition between student clubs and faculties to raise the amount of supply that we can have so we can provide more for students as well as throughout the years. And also for leadership series, we would love to have you to come to Student Senate and speak with students and share your experience as well as leadership skills also.
I'm going to jump in here on that competition. Do you think you should ask the board to be one of the competitors?
Oh, definitely. That'll be a very
Maybe
strong
with-
player, yes.
Maybe with some of the administrators, and we'll see who can rock the world for hunger. Sure, I just put that out there.
Marie may speak only for herself. I'm just mentioning that, but we will discuss that offline.
In my previous year at MCC, I've been working closely with the Center for Community and Civic Engagement. I was part of the MCC votes last year to better inform students and for them to become a better informed voter. I hope to work with the Campus Vote Project this semester to organize the student voting summit that will take place on September 27th. I am so excited to continue working with them this semester.
It is vital that we hear the student voice. Along with the student listening session, we will also be holding an event each semester for students to get to know the ASMCC Executive Board and have a chance to ask us questions. We want them to all be aware that we have a student government here on campus and that we are here to support and represent them.
Hello, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rudy Sanchez Avila. I'm the Maricopa Student Senator for Mesa Community College. My role is a bit different from the ASMCC student government since I represent MCC on the district level. But I work with my counterparts on campus to determine what issues should be addressed for all Maricopa students. This year, I want to continue a project that my predecessor, Marty Surveyor, started around campus safety, and I need your help. So students have reported safety concerns while on campus, whether that be walking to their class and feeling like they're being followed, automatic handicap buttons around campus not working, causing students who use wheelchairs to be stuck alone in bathrooms or classrooms, or not enough lighting around campus for evening students. We are sure that students from around the districts are having similar concerns. I plan on bringing up these issues to my fellow Maricopa student senators. I believe we have an obligation to do more listening sessions with students and employees to learn more about safety concerns and then find ways to address those concerns. Here are some small initiatives that we can get started on now. September is Campus Safety Awareness Month, and I know college police makes it a priority to educate students and faculty on campus, but we should all be a part of those efforts. We would like to run a Maricopa Community College campaign to promote the Rave Guardian app to students and employees. We can plan events and messaging that would encourage students to register and download the app so they can receive safety tips and have easier access to college police. The second would be more clear process for reporting automatic handicap buttons that are not working and doing an inventory for our campus to determine areas where more buttons are needed. We should post more messages that should to show more accessible entrance and exits to building and restrooms on campus. The third will be holding training and education sessions for staffs and faculty on how to best support students with disability and promote campus safety. I challenge you to support these efforts district-wide. I am open to any advice that you may have as we move forward. We are looking forward with working with all of you and our college administration to accomplish our goals and initiatives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Before they sit down, are there any questions for any of our students? Ms. Smith?
Do you have a sense of the amount of money that's needed to do some of the things that you talked about, like adding the buttons for handicapped students?
Yes, we do.
How much?
We do not.
Okay.
Thought we did. My bad. We're going to do more research.
Great. I just want to offer a quick comment. So in my day job, I'm a fundraiser. So I ask people for things in creative ways. And so I wanted to say that the first step of making the ask, you did great. I feel like you pulled me in and you roped me in. So then the second thing is you need to know how much, because you've piqued my interest and now I want to think of creative ways to help you do it. So I hope you do follow up with us to let us know the amount for some of your requests. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Other questions? Thank you very much. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. However, if you want to go out and figure out those costs so we can do fundraising, we will excuse you to go on to other things.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to the Faculty Executive Council report, Dr. Ramona Guth, and you've got big shoes to fill after those presentations from those students.
I'll do my best.
Fabulous.
Madam President, members of the board, Chancellor, CEC, colleagues, honored students, and guests. Faculty are happy to be back and focusing on retention and student success, the heart of everything we do. First Lady Jill Biden said, "One of the things that makes community colleges so special is that they do not pick and choose their students. They work with all students. Effectively meeting the needs of all students requires creativity, commitment, and collaboration. Tonight, I'd like to focus your attention on one high-impact collaboration between faculty and our campus learning center partners, embedded tutoring. Embedded tutoring aims to provide targeted support where it can make the most significant impact on student retention and success. An embedded tutor is a peer or professional assigned to a specific class to collaborate with the faculty and to provide proactive support for students. The tutor's role is to help students better understand the course concepts that are taught by the faculty member. Embedded tutoring is particularly recommended for classes that are traditionally challenging or have high rates of student attrition, such as gateway courses, STEM courses, and courses with diverse student population. It's important to know that embedded tutoring works. At Scottsdale Community College in English 101, 90% of students in classes with embedded tutors successfully completed the course compared to 77% of students in classes without an embedded tutor. At Mesa Community College, Bio 201 sections with embedded tutors saw a 15% increase in successful completion rates, while at Phoenix College, they saw a 14% increase in their bio classes with embedded tutoring support. Physics sections at Mesa with embedded tutors achieved a 30% increase in completion rates. Chem 151 and 152 at Phoenix College saw an 11% increase. ESL courses at Mesa with embedded tutoring averaged an 83% success rate, significantly outperforming non-supported classes. Australia Mountain collected data from fall 2019 to 2021, which provided evidence of higher student success outcomes in 3 of 4 semesters for bio-embedded tutoring supported courses. More importantly, an equity analysis of this data showed that first-generation students outperformed their peers in non-supported classes every semester. Hispanic students outperformed their peers 3 out of 4 semesters by as much as 15%. And female students outperformed their peers every semester by as much as 11%. In the embedded tutoring model, faculty and tutors work collaboratively to provide tailored and timely instruction for students. A faculty member from Scottsdale Community College explains, in my experience teaching 8-week English courses, many students come with gaps in learning. In 8 weeks, I cannot effectively review and bridge those individual gaps. The embedded tutor can provide the targeted instruction that students need. A math faculty member from Chandler Gilbert Community College explains, sometimes it's difficult to get around to all of the groups when students are facing an especially challenging problem. With the embedded tutor there, we can divide and conquer and thereby help more students more effectively. It is the collaboration between faculty and tutor that makes embedded tutoring so successful. SCC Learning Associate Donna Revelon explains, it's the collaboration between embedded tutors and instructors that empowers tutors with the perspective, expectations, and course progression that results in efficient and impactful support sessions for students. And students are aware of and are grateful for the support. When Scottsdale Community College distributed a survey to chemistry physics students regarding the use of embedded tutoring in their classes, 72% of students strongly agreed that working with the embedded tutor helped them earn a higher course grade. 76% strongly agreed that working with the embedded tutor helped them successfully complete the course. 80% said they were more likely to enroll in a course with an embedded tutor. An Australia Mountain Community College student explained, having an embedded tutor has helped me gain confidence. Before I took this class, I was really nervous because I thought I wasn't going to make it, but our tutor was always there to help whenever we needed her. According to a student from Chandler Gilbert, embedded tutoring is probably the single best program the education system has created to help students. It actually works. And finally, a Mesa Community College student sums it up. Every 4-credit class should have an embedded tutor. I paid hundreds of dollars for my private tutor last year to pass chemistry. I didn't have to pay anyone this year. Professional golfer Jordan Spieth says, like I always say, it's a team effort. A lot of behind the scenes work goes in when we're at home. Student success is also a team effort. In addition to highlighting our excellent academic and occupational programs and student achievement, let's not forget to celebrate the collaboration and commitment of faculty, staff, and yes, administration, who work behind the scenes to ensure that students are able to fulfill their dreams. And as we talk about our colleges in the upcoming year, let's not forget to highlight MCCCB's commitment to retaining and supporting students to reach their academic, personal, and/or professional goals by providing the right support at the right place at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramona. Any questions? Thank you.
I had a question.
Dr. Reedy.
So how do we decide which courses get the tutors and which ones don't?
Well, as I'm sure you can imagine, there's limited funds. Every college has different, has funding models and different ways of doing that. But first of all, you have to have courses where teachers are willing to have a tutor, and then you have to have a tutor to work with the teacher. And it's important, the collaboration is very important. And they fund as many of those as they can. And we try to go for high impact courses. For example, English is a high impact course, math courses are high impact courses, and of course the sciences, the STEM courses. But we also have, at Scottsdale, we have it in the foreign languages. We have embedded tutors. At other colleges, they have embedded tutoring and courses that you might not consider that they would.
And how do we fund the tutors in those classes?
Well, there are multiple ways. You're not going to like this, Dr. Narini, but many colleges use course fees to fund some of those. There are grants, they achieve grants and they use grant funding to do that. You probably could ask questions of our vice presidents or administrators who manage to dig through the couch cushions and find money to do that. So different sources.
You did read my mind about the course fees. Because I know that there are a lot of courses that do come with course fees. So we can be sure that all those courses with course fees do have embedded tutors? Or I'm sorry, the ones that request the course fees to fund tutors, all the sections of those courses are going to have embedded tutors.
Probably not all sections because there's not that much money. We also, the money, I can only speak for like the English and math. The course fees that are attached to English and math go to our learning centers, and we have tutoring in our learning centers, which is different than the embedded tutors. You get excellent tutoring in our learning centers, but it's not timely, it's not targeted, and it's not for a particular class at a particular time, which is a different kind of practice. But once again, they branch out. I think they do as many as they can, and once again, that's different college by college.
But in the course fee request that we get, oftentimes it'll say this is to be used for an embedded tutor. So we can, when it says that, we can guarantee that all the sections of that class are going to have embedded tutors.
I don't know if I can't answer that question because I would need to go and research that.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Well, I just want to make sure the students are getting what they're paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, if it's asking for tutoring or embedded tutoring, students who are paying for embedded tutoring are getting embedded.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rena. Ms. Davis?
Who are these tutors?
Well, it depends. It's at different colleges. Some of the colleges, they're hired professional tutors. So that, and some they are peer tutors or students who have passed the class before. They're all trained with their embedded tutors. The instructors are trained on how to work with the tutor, and the tutors are trained how to work with the instructor. And I can speak to this because I have, when I teach English in my real life, I'm an English instructor, and I have an embedded tutor that I've been working with for 3 years. And it's very symbiotic relationship. So that's the way it works in our situation.
Thank you.
Sorry, not a question, but I do have a comment. You know, as a student, we do love convenience, and definitely with embedded tutors, you know, they're already there. So it's really convenient. And there's also the concept of having somebody who's gone through the course and understands where you're coming from. It's already, you know, that kind of relationship. And I really love to see the embedded tutors highlighted because not a lot of people know that we have embedded tutors. Even at Gateway, as a student ambassador, we want to highlight embedded tutors because not a lot of students know about it. And, you know, I really love to see the increased rates of passing in the courses with embedded tutors because it is definitely a resource that's helpful for students, but not a lot of people know about it. So thank you for talking about them.
One of the testimonials that I read from a student said that the student felt uncomfortable asking questions of the teacher because the student felt that the teacher was too busy and they didn't want to bother them, right? But they didn't feel uncomfortable at all asking questions of the embedded tutor. And we've also learned that once they have worked with an embedded tutor, they're more likely to go to the tutoring center, other classes and so forth. So it's a bridge between the learning centers.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Because you're all the way at the end of the table, if I don't see you, just holler, wave, send smoke signals. So your comments are super valuable. We appreciate that. All right, let's move on to the Adjunct Faculty Association report. Ms. Boge. Welcome.
President Bittersmith, governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, students that are joining us, and members of CEC. As I begin my second year as adjunct faculty president, I am very happy to say that I start this year with more confidence and a better understanding of what goes into the role. I'm really looking forward to this new year and the challenges that we're going to have. Last year was definitely a learning curve, and I had some wonderful mentors and other people in the colleges as a whole district that really helped me to understand how to better do this role. So I really feel like I'm entering this year with more confidence and a comfortable attitude about how to approach things and help our adjuncts and help our colleges. With the fall semester beginning, our adjunct faculty group representatives have already been getting back to work at their colleges. Our new members have completed their onboarding and are starting to meet with their VPAAs. I actually sat in on one of the meetings today at Phoenix College as sort of a bridge to our two new members there, our two new adjunct reps, and to get them up to speed a little bit better and introduce them to the VPAA and let them know what to expect in the coming years. Our leadership team has been meeting this summer so that we can identify issues and opportunities where we can strengthen our participation on the local college level, as well as throughout the district. And we've been really trying to focus on the future and how we can create more of a sustainable model for the adjunct faculty group. We've had different leadership styles over the years, and we haven't always had good recorded information about how to pass the torch. And so we want to make it easier for the people that come from where we are now to the future so that they have better records, better foundation, and better systems to be able to work with. Also, we're creating documents that can help our representatives stay on track. We've realized that even though we ask them, can you do your reports every month? Sometimes it's just a little challenging to remember to put all that together. So we're creating checklists, we're creating systems that will help everybody feel a little more comfortable in their role. We're also planning on how we can use our upcoming newsletter to inform and connect better with the adjunct faculty across the district and use that to help with what was Gail's role in sending out things and also supplement MCLI and other areas so that we're working together and we're targeting things in more of a dovetailed approach. We had our most recent adjunct faculty meeting 2 weeks ago, and we met in person again, and almost everybody was able to join us this time. The last time we did that, we only had about a little less than half. And this time, I think we were missing only a couple that were either sick or were out of town. So it was wonderful to have people actually present. And we found that we have a much better sense of camaraderie, but also sharing ideas when we're meeting in person rather than just a little box on a screen. So we actually have some of our reps that are now asking, can we do this all the time? Because we were saying, we'll start doing it once in a while, maybe every 3-4 months. Now they want to do it regularly. So it's giving us a better way to share some of the successes that the different reps are having on different campuses and give ideas that how we can involve each other in some of our successes. We discussed our SWOT in our last meeting because we're realizing part of building a better system is understanding what the perceived weaknesses and threats are, as well as where our perceived successes are and opportunities. And so we have a SWOT sheet that people are adding more to right now. And we plan to use that to address items for the next year and what we want to perhaps add into the adjunct faculty handbook, our bylaws, and other things for our individual campuses. We've also been working on a mission, vision, values statement. We've just started the preliminary aspects of that right now with everybody adding their thoughts to it, which we're then going to cull down to ideas that we feel will represent us best. And we also had Diana Villanueva Saucedo as a guest speaker, and she explained the ballot measures with the expenditure limitations so that our reps are better prepared to answer questions. And we are looking from that to see how else we can spread the word for throughout our adjunct population to be able to support the issue individually outside their college job. Lastly, I'd like to highlight a couple of people, both at Glendale Community College, Mary Zatazalo and Karen Sipes. They have planned 2 adjunct experience human design sessions. And I'm even a little fuzzy about what that's going to entail, although I'm going to be part of the experience. So I'm looking forward to coming back to explain what it was about and what success they have with it. Mary's one of our go-getters, and every event she plans has great success. So she's going to bring a lot to the adjuncts at Glendale this semester. And also Mo Zaru at Gateway is my other person I'd like to highlight. He's been working with a lot of data gathering for the last several months and putting together different information about adjuncts and statistics on just a variety of areas. He is arranging right now to be able to speak to the VPAAs as a whole, so their group to share some of the information. And I'm hoping to bring him to CEC with me as well, so that we can share some of our data for use throughout the college system. So lastly, I thank you again for the opportunity to update you. I'm looking forward to a great semester, and thanks everybody for being here tonight.
Any questions for Kim? Not? Thank you. Thank you very much. And last but not least, staff representation update, Ms. April Rowland and Mr. Jason Wright. Welcome.
Good evening, Ms. President Bittersmith, governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC and guests. Want to talk to you this evening about the growth of staff representation. In 2019, the governing board member directs the chancellor to form an employee group organization council called EGOC. In 2020, staff policy team was formed to review, collaborate, and advocate for staff policy. 2021, staff policy collaboration team, SPCT, was formed to ensure shared governance approach to policy approval. And 2022 began the use of 2 full-time reassigned co-presidents. In addition to that, securing additional staff faculty breaks, including a full week of spring break and recognition of Juneteenth. 2023, we continue to work with human resources to secure 8 hours of personal time to recognize diversity, equity, and inclusion for holidays and staff use. Next slide, please. And the spring and summer of 2024, the co-presidents in the Senate held several meetings to discuss lessons learned, which has led us to ramping up for this year, testing improvements such as working on the new governing board presentation structure to bring reps and staff news from campuses and district-wide. We attended multiple summer retreats to review and plan continued work. We're continuing busy with policy work, and Jason and I will start our road show to all the campuses here the next month. Thank you.
Slide, please. Some of the outcomes of all the work we did with reviewing the work we've done over the last 5 years has been to kind of evaluate what went well and what hasn't gone well and create a strategic plan to advise our work over the next year. So you see we have our high levels, we have continuous improvement, simplification and refinement, culture and climate, and external advocacy. Now under these, we have a bunch of breakout points. You'll see the full strategic plan is actually in the board's packet. Want to take a look. We're really trying to be intentional about how do we keep improving and refining to make the policy work we do as beneficial to the district and the employees as possible. Next slide, please. And next, we're going to introduce one of our staff reps from South Mountain Community College to talk about some events that they were working on over the summer at their location.
Good evening and buenas noches to our board president, Bittersmith, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC, and guests. Again, my name is Dionisio Jensen Boadia. I'm a program analyst in the Events and Fleet Services Office and also in Business Services at South Mountain Community College. Plus, I also serve as staff senator. I'm also a DAC coordinator and an officer with the Quality Maricopa. I have no life. I was asked to please share about a really cool and exciting event that happened at our campus recently. On this past 4th of July, Independence Day, South Mountain Community College's gymnasium was converted into an official U.S. courtroom, where we had 146 new U.S. citizens from over 40 countries be officially sworn in by a U.S. district judge. And this was the 33rd annual U.S. naturalization ceremony held at my campus. It was great to work again with the South Mountain Communities Festival Committee, the U.S. Customs and Immigration Services Office, the U.S. Marshal's Office, because they had to bring the dog to sniff out this place, the U.S. District Judge's Office, and other federal, state, and local agencies. A highlight for me each year, and very similar to the Olympic opening ceremonies that we got to see recently, is having each country named aloud and being recognized. Well, the same thing took place as the commissioner read aloud each nation and the individuals arose until we had 146 standing tall and proud as they became the newest members of Team USA. As they all trained long and hard and studied to get their gold medal in becoming a new US citizen. The new citizens had a Olympic village, we can say, because they had a one-stop shop in our gym. They were able to get their voter registration done that same day. And I can tell you, witnessing firsthand, seeing the mad rush of 146 US citizens to go to those voter registration tables, I was like, oh my God, I hope no one falls and gets hurt. Luckily they didn't. And the reason was, as many of them had shared with me as I was there earlier in the morning to greet a lot of them, is that this was going to be their first time to be able to vote in this country, because in their homeland, they didn't have that opportunity. So they wanted to take advantage of this. So in addition to that, our Team USA new citizens were also able to get their Social Security card application completed and also get their US passport submission done at the same time. Now, if I may, we're going to show a short little video of the event so you can get a taste of what happened that day.
Nearly 150 Arizonans celebrated America's birthday today by getting sworn in as the newest U.S. citizens.
Afghanistan, Albania, Bangladesh.
America is known for being a melting pot.
I look out into the audience and I see faces from all over the world. And that is what the foundation of our country is.
People representing 46 countries sit with a flag in hand, waiting for the moment they've dreamed of for years.
America is a great country.
Everyone has a different story, but all came to the United States chasing the American dream. Nearly 150 Arizona.
So hopefully with that video, you got that taste and feel of what we experienced in having that day. Yes, there were 146 citizens, but we had over 800 folks in the gymnasium because of all their family and guests. I was really worried the fire marshal was going to show up. Luckily, they didn't. But again, in closing, I just want to say that I am truly blessed and humbled to work with an amazing South Mountain Community College's tiny but mighty setup crew of 2. Hey, we're a small campus. Our audiovisual guru of 1, and our awesome police crew of 4, and then myself, as it was just another large event we do at our campus. But lastly, honestly, I am very humbled and grateful to be able to serve as senator for my campus, along with my fellow staff reps. As we look forward to this new fiscal year, working closely with a new college president and new vice presidents. Thank you. Good night.
Any questions for April or Jason or Don?
Yes, Ms. Davis, this is the 33rd annual that we've done this, and the South Mountain Community Festival Committee is the one that works closely with the college and those federal agencies that I named. We do this every year, on the 4th.
And Don, I would just tell you, I had several emails and calls for people who were there for friends who had not been to the South Mountain campus and sent me notes and said, oh, I didn't even know this was here. This was great. So congratulations for doing that and continuing to do that. I know it's a lot of work, particularly on the 4th of July when everybody else is eating hot dogs and relaxing.
We had our hot dogs afterwards.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great. Okay. We have 4 faculty emeritus distinctions to present this evening. And I don't know exactly who from which college is going to do it, but I would like to start with Estrella Mountain with Mr. Rodney Freeman. Looks like Dr. Rivera is going to do the honors.
Good evening. President Bittersmith, members of the governing board, Chancellor Gonzalez, colleagues, students, and guests. It is a great honor that we recognize Rod Freeman for his extraordinary contributions to Estrella Mountain students, faculty, and community. Rod Freeman began his journey with EMCC before our college even existed and dedicated an impressive 33 years to our institution. Throughout his career, he was a beloved English faculty member, teaching English composition, literature, and humanities courses with a passion that left a lasting impact on countless students. Rod held numerous leadership positions throughout his tenure, including division chair and faculty senate president. He was a mentor to many faculty members, guiding them with wisdom and compassion. The sudden passing of Rod Freeman in March 2024 was a profound loss for all of us at Estrella Mountain. His absence is deeply felt in the halls of our college and in the hearts of those he touched. His legacy, however, lives in the lives of those he influenced and the lasting contributions he made to our college. It is fitting that we honor him with this emeritus distinction, recognizing his enduring impact on our institution and the generations of students who will continue to benefit from his work. I would like to call Kelly Lucy, Division Chairperson of Arts and Composition, to accept this award on behalf of Rod's colleagues and family.
Good evening, President Bittersmith, members of the board, Chancellor, and CEC. My name is Kelly Lucy, and I am faculty chair for the Division of Arts and Composition at Estrella Mountain Community College. I am honored tonight to accept this emeritus status recognition on behalf of Rod Freeman and his wife, Monique. As Dr. Rivera shared, Rod served Estrella Mountain's students, the college, and our community from the beginning. Rod was well known for his laser focus on student learning and for working tirelessly to help students succeed and thrive. Over his 33 years, Rod impacted thousands of students through his English composition, literature, and humanities courses. His mythology courses were particularly appreciated by students because he worked to connect the ancient stories to the modern world. Rod was known for his creative and engaging assignments, from having students design board games based on mythology to exploring architecture by using Legos in his humanities classes. He served as an advisor to the Student Gaming Club, and students who are veterans or exploring careers in law enforcement inevitably found their way to his classes or office. Rod mentored hundreds of honor students through the years, and I can't even imagine how many English 102 research papers he read. Rod demonstrated a love of the arts, such as establishing and leading the Mariposa Literary Review since 1993, teaching painting classes through community ed, and he could even be found working on a portrait of his dog in his office between grading all those research papers. It seems as though Rod mentored nearly every faculty member at EMCC at one point or another. He was my mentor as a first-year faculty, and later when I stepped into the faculty chair role, a position that he held for many years, he mentored me as well. Rod was our historian, our wise sage, the calm presence in our division and faculty meetings. I cannot understate how much we miss him. On behalf of the EMCC faculty, students, and Mrs. Freeman, I thank the governing board for recognizing the years of service and the difference that Rod Freeman made in the lives of so many in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next honoree is from Chandler Gilbert Community College, Dr. Camila Descala, and turn that over to them. There you go.
Good evening, President Bittersmith, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC, colleagues and guests. On behalf of Chandler Gilbert Community College, it's an honor to have an opportunity to celebrate Dr. Camila Descala this evening. To make it even a little bit more special, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Anthony Descala, who is the Associate Vice President of Administrative Services at Phoenix College, and Dr. Descala's son, who will be offering remarks.
Welcome.
Good evening. Board President, Governing Board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, and CEC members. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present this award to Dr. Camila Descala for emeritus status. I never had the pleasure of working with her on a specific campus, even though I've been at 3 colleges over my 16 years here. But I do have the pleasure, and I'm proud to call her mom. As a first-generation American and single mother, she decided to go back to college. And earned the first degree in our family. I was 2 years old at that time. When she went there, she was encouraged to think bigger. By the time I was graduating 6th grade, she was graduating medical school. Her training in the Bronx gave her a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experiences. I know those stories all too well. They were my bedtime stories. But she was able to bring those to her classroom and enrich the students at Maricopa, as well as a small school back on Long Island where she found her natural talent for teaching. When we moved out here to Arizona and she started as an adjunct faculty member at Chandler Gilbert, she was asked to develop a new program for Bio 160 at that campus. And she worked hard to build that curriculum, develop the program, and build it. And her reputation preceded herself. She had students from all 10 campuses around this district getting on waiting lists to come to her class to learn those same stories I grew up with. From there, she became a pre-med advisor. She was able to take the place of what she experienced in college of being told and taught to think bigger. She was originally looking to finish her bachelor's degree in nursing. Somebody helped her think bigger and she went on to medical school. From there, she's been part of, little note card here. She built the pathophysiology program a course out at Chandler Gilbert to help the nursing students. She's been part of the emerging math and science students program. She's been the pre-med advisor, tutor. He was practically an embedded tutor in her class with all of her experiences, as well as the Faculty Foundation board member. She dedicated 26 years, including her adjuncting time at Chandler Gilbert, and she's built a great reputation, and she still mentors and is in communication with hundreds of her students today. So it's my pleasure and honor to call her mom and to present this distinguished award to her. Congratulations. Well done.
Receive this award today. So,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You. And now we move to South Mountain Community College, Dr. Brian Murphy.
Good evening, President Bittersmith, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, colleagues and guests. It's my honor to present Dr. Brian Doc Murphy. He retired in spring 2023. Thank you. And he graduated from the University of Albany with a Bachelor of Arts in History. He earned a master's in counseling psychology from the University of Cincinnati. We've collected some quotes from Dr. Murphy, also known as Doc. Says, I began to focus on broader aspects of higher education, including sociology and social justice. I was able to put that together into a doctorate at Arizona State University. As I share a little bit about him, what you'll see is that he was impactful across our campus in addition to the classroom. He taught the first sports psychology course at SMCC after joining the residential faculty in 1996. He was quoted, "We focused on mental skills development. I saw a lot of teams struggling with the mental aspects of competition, and I thought the class would be beneficial." You see, he also served as the assistant athletic director for 6 years in the 1990s and 2000s under Doug Ferguson and Chris Haynes. He coached women's indoor volleyball, softball, and beach volleyball throughout his career. He attended 5 NJCAA national championships, 2 with softball, 2 with women's volleyball, and in 2023 with beach volleyball. He was also a distinguished leader, and his service to the college included faculty senate president, assistant division chair, assistant athletic director, presidential search committee chair, the honors coordinator, the par and part chair, and there was a lot more, so we'll stop there. But in 2020, he was also awarded the Dale Parnell Faculty Distinction Award from AACC. And then finally,
Dr. Murphy is quoted, "For me, it is always about the relationships and building something positive and encouraging for people to overcome issues in their lives, whether it is personal or academic." His legacy is going to last a long time at South. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Bittersmith, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez. I am a product of community colleges. I graduated magna cum laude from Nassau Community College, Long Island, New York. And long before I moved to Arizona, I was aware of the Maricopa Community Colleges and their reputation for innovation, for collegiality, and for uplifting students. As a doctoral student, as a PhD student at Arizona State, I worked hard hoping that I would be worthy to be hired by Maricopa. It has been a great honor and privilege to teach at South Mountain for the last 30 years. The administration has been very supportive, and my faculty colleagues have been beyond collegial. They are lifelong friends. My mentor in volleyball, University of Arizona coach David Rubio, said to me decades ago, "Brian, it's all about relationships." And that was the approach I took to teaching and to coaching. I remember a 15-year-old high school student from AAEC taking my class her sophomore year in high school. Tatiana was her name. Well, Tatiana is no longer 15. She's 36, and we still talk on a regular basis. Although my career has come to an end, those relationships continue. As does my relationship with Maricopa. But now, as a student, tomorrow, I have an electric guitar class and a voice class at Phoenix College. I thank the board, Chancellor, SMCC President, and my dear colleague from Phoenix College, Amy McPherson, for nominating for this honor. I thank my wife, Pamela, for her support and love over the 43 years of our marriage. And to my son, Matt, for sacrificing his dad time because Dad was coaching a volleyball match. I thank my dear faculty colleagues. Thank you.
Congratulations. And now, again, last but not least, from Gateway Community College, Dr. Bonnie Hooving.
Thank you. Dear President Bittersmith, governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, and Maricopa colleagues, it is my honor to present Dr. Bonnie Howing, retired Gateway Community College reading faculty, to you for consideration of emeritus status. Please allow me to tell you a little bit about her. Dr. Howing taught developmental through advanced reading courses throughout her 13 years at Gateway. In addition, she taught and evaluated education courses. She served as Gateway's reading program coordinator for 9 years and led Gateway through the implementation of the redesigned reading curriculum. During those years, she served as Gateway's representative to Maricopa's Reading Instructional Council and played a key role in the adoption of multiple measures and integrated reading and writing, otherwise known as ALT 100. She earned her PhD in teaching and learning with an emphasis in literacy learning from my alma mater, the University of Iowa. Dr. Howing developed Gateway's Power Reading Camp, which helped students improve their reading ability and placement into higher level reading courses, saving them valuable time on their educational path. She served as Gateway's transfer and first year experience committees, where she focused on supporting student success. Further, she incorporated service learning experiences into her courses and collaborated on a learning community between developmental reading and writing courses. Dr. Howing served on Gateway's Developmental Education Committee for over a decade, through the major redesign of developmental education, which included shortening the pathway into college level courses, working toward integrated reading and writing, and establishing those multiple measures for student placement. She was highly involved in Gateway's adoption of Maricopa's guided pathways and served as the reading specialist on multiple curriculum mapping teams, as well as Gateway's Guided Pathways Committee. Finally, she performed a major service to the institution by serving as an HLC tri-chair for Gateway's 10-year accreditation review in 2019. Unfortunately, Dr. Howing could not be with us this evening. However, she did provide a statement to be read by Gateway's Dean of Liberal Arts, Sciences, and Learning Support, Dr. Kelly Green.
President Bittersmith, governing board members, Chancellor Gonzalez, and Maricopa colleagues, I'm honored to read Dr. Bonnie Howing's statement on her behalf, which I've read about 25 times, so I'm sure she'll be proud of that. Dear Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board, Gateway Administration, faculty, and staff, thank you for the distinguished honor of Professor Emeritus. The first day I arrived at Gateway, I was approached by Carl, an individual who was part of the wonderful maintenance crew at Gateway, in the parking lot, offering to help me with boxes, directions around campus, etc. I knew then I had accepted the right position. It was refreshing to be a part of a community that truly helped each other and every individual feel welcomed, encouraged, and supported in their efforts to help students achieve their goals. From the administration to all the great faculty and staff around campus I had the privilege to work with, I truly appreciated the opportunity to work collectively to ensure student success. Working in higher education prior to accepting the position at Gateway, I know how easy it is for some departments, divisions, and faculty to work in silo situations. At Gateway, everyone was focused on student success and worked together to attain the best outcome for all students. I always felt valued as a faculty member and respected as a professional in my field. As always, it is the relationships I built with both students and colleagues that I miss the most. I will always be grateful for the opportunities I had within Maricopa County Community College District and the years I spent at Gateway. I hope the great traditions Gateway has developed can persist for many years and assist all students who attend Gateway to feel success as they pursue their educational goals. Once again, thank you for this honor and the opportunity to work at Gateway Community College. Bonnie Howing.
Thank you. And how about one more round of applause for all of our honors this evening? So now, Dr. Gonzalez, we're ready for your report.
Thank you, President Bittersmith. Sound really loud, don't I? All right. Well, welcome back. How's that? We're starting a new academic year, and I know that the fall semester has been well underway, but this has been our first opportunity to gather officially and to say welcome back to you all. Hope you had a great summer, refreshing time, and it's really nice to see our students back again and learning. And Mesa, right out of the chute, you guys did an excellent job of presenting this evening, so congratulations to you. So in the spirit of my previous chancellor updates, I'm going to share some information specific to Mesa Community College and let you know that they have begun a process that they call proactive graduation, which identifies students who have completed all the requirements for a certificate but not have received an award yet. The proactive graduation efforts resulted in a significant increase in the number of credentials awarded, contributing to an increase from 715 certificates of completion awarded in 21-22 to 2,641 in 22-23. Preliminary data for the 23-24 award year indicates that Mesa's efforts will result in approximately 1,800 certificates awarded to more than 1,500 students. So that's an excellent job at Mesa to increase the number of students who are earning some credential on their way possibly to an associate's degree or transferring to a university and maybe receiving a bachelor's degree either with us or at a university. For the fall 2024 semester, Mesa's headcount at the week before the semester started for all students was 15,923, which was up 6.3% over the previous fall semester. Congratulations to faculty and staff and all of the recruiting and retention efforts to show an increase in enrollment at Mesa. Here's some things that are new and points of pride for Mesa. The Red Mountain campus has been approved to offer the licensed professional nursing program. The LPN program is the latest addition to the in-demand healthcare career training opportunities at Red Mountain. The Mesa College Promise program has welcomed its fourth and largest group of students. This year's group includes 320 students, a 48% increase from last year, of which 263 are recent high school graduates and 57 are adult learners who are 24 years or older. The program was just expanded to include the inaugural group of eligible Mesa residents who are 24 years older. So again, we thank everyone who has contributed to the Mesa Promise program, including the city of Mesa and being innovative, being the first city to work with Maricopa to develop a Mesa Promise program. We thank the foundation and the team as well for their work to support that. As part of a recent $1 million grant to Maricopa from the Lowe's Foundation, Mesa will receive $483,705 to support the construction trades program. The funds will be used to hire a part-time lab technician, expand facilities to include an outdoor training space, purchase construction materials and equipment, and optimize outreach efforts. That concludes my update for Mesa. However, I've got a few more things to share. For our strategic goals that we are constantly working on, Excellence 2026 has been reviewed and modified for year 2 implementation. The marketing team is finalizing revisions and it will be shared system-wide in the coming weeks. In alignment with our commitment to an integrated planning model, the system-wide strategic enrollment management plan officially launches this year, and the system-wide academic plan development is also underway. Enrollment update for the system. We're really excited to report that again, the week before the semester started, we are up 2.9% overall as a system. That takes our head count to 80,141 students. And here's what's really nice change to see. For the fall 2024 semester, FTSE is actually up 3.3%. If you've been paying attention to headcount versus FTSE, our headcount has been higher than FTSE over the last several semesters. This would suggest that while we're increasing in headcount and FTSE's higher, that our students are taking more credit hours now than they have in the past. So whatever efforts that we are doing, I know there are many, to encourage students to take on more while we support them through, the embedded tutors, through more scholarships, through whatever other support that is needed to help them be successful. They are listening and they are taking the chance of taking on a stronger load of credit hours. So good job, students, in that. And in terms of legislative update, the National Cyber Director, Mr. Harry Coker, I think is his last name, visited Glendale Community College on July 25th to tour the Gaucho Security Operations Center. Understand that went really well and he was extremely impressed. Government relations staff have convened an internal task force to draft the proposal for Maricopa's 2025 legislative agenda. So there will be some information coming for the board to review soon. And President Bittersmith and governing board members, that concludes my chancellor's update for the evening. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Gonzalez? If not, then we will move on to citizens interim. And I have no cards. Ms. Macias? It does not appear we have anybody to speak under citizens interim this evening. So let's go on to our consent agenda. All items under this section of the agenda are consent matters unless they are removed from the consent agenda at this time. Do any board members or the chancellor have any items they wish to remove from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Moved by Dr. Thor. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Sullivan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? By a vote of 7-0 and the student advisory vote, the consent agenda is approved. So now we will move on to change the page here. My apologies. Our first read and information items. So we have the first read of governing board policy changes to 2.6, which is financial planning and budgeting. Are there any questions at this point, board members? If not, item number 2 under first reading information items is the employment and separations report from May 18, 2024 through July 19, 2024. Board members, are there any questions? Seeing none, let's then go on to monitoring reports. And that is the budget analysis report fund number 1, which is the general unrestricted fund for the 12 months ending 6/30/2024. And it is a preliminary report. Board members, any questions? And then item number 2 is the budget analysis report fund number 1 under general unrestricted fund for the 1 month ending 7/31/2024. Any questions from board members? Seeing none, then we'll move on to our community linkage reports. And I'm going to start, I will be a little bit backwards because Ms. Jackson Long is listed first here, but I'm not going to pick on her. It's her first meeting to do this. So let me start, if I could, with Dr. Narini, since you have a brand new shirt on. I need to know what that is.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, for the last couple months, July 22nd, I participated in the ACCT Diversity Committee virtual meeting. In August, we had our board retreat. All had a good time at the board retreat and got lots of good work done. Last week, Dr. Gonzalez and I attended the AC4 and AACCT retreat in Flagstaff to work with some of the other community colleges in the state. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Chris Cinto and his crew at Paradise Valley for putting on an outstanding evening of Brazilian music last Saturday that I attended. That was outstanding. And my shirt, I don't know if anybody noticed, in case you missed it. This is from the Gateway High School. Mr. Boyd invited me to come to speak at the MCCCD High School District Welcome Back Summit at Gateway. I'd like to welcome our 2 new principals, Ms. Lisa Thompson, who's going to be the new principal at Queens College, and Mr. Bruce Kelly, who's the new principal at Gateway High School. And so they're here. So if you come across them, welcome them. But just want to point out, one of the things I asked when I spoke is how many of the people at the high schools thought of themselves as, or saw themselves as an afterthought to Maricopa Community College, and a few of them just sheepishly raised their hands. But I just wanted to point out some of the things that the high schools have been doing. For one thing, they're both A schools, which is outstanding. They increased their enrollment for the upcoming year. And let me see if I have this right. Last year, their students earned more than 5,400 college credits for our students. So they've also created a career-focused pathways that lead to a number of different certificates. Like in healthcare, there's a number of healthcare programs that they're earning certificates for. Spanish interpretation and translation, business IT, and automotive services. These are all programs that the high school students are earning credits to get certificates in. So that's pretty outstanding for them. They have top-notch athletic teams. They've even had a state championship a year or 2 back, right, in soccer. And what makes it even more exciting is that more than 93% of their students are first-generation college students. And they're doing all of this stuff. So I hope that we can hear more from them as the students give their presentations. I'd like to hear more from the high schools about all the wonderful things that they're doing. But what I don't want to do ever again is follow Dr. Barnes, the superintendent at Creighton School District, in his speech. He was an outstanding speaker, and they had me follow him, and it was Anyway, that concludes my report. It was a great time, and I really appreciate the invitation to attend and get to know more about the students at the high school.
Thank you, Dr. I'm sure you were a terrific speaker. Dr. Thor?
Thank you. I also want to welcome the faculty, staff, and students to the 2024-25 academic year, and to say how excited the board is about the enrollment growth, particularly the FTSE growth. And I want to congratulate my colleagues, Susan Bittersmith, Jacqueline Smith, Tom Narini, who joined me in having the County Board of Supervisors cancel our elections for lack of opponents. So you're stuck with us for 4 more years. Finally, from July 31st to August 3rd, I participated as a guest at the Summer Institute of AFIT, the Alliance for Innovation and Transformation. And Maricopa was very well represented at the Institute with teams from Rio Salado and from a team from Gateway, yes, thank you, and the president of Glendale Community College, who attended as a guest. The theme was looking ahead to empower the future today and was heavily focused on artificial intelligence. And I learned a whole lot. As I shared in February, back in 1991, I was one of a small group of community college presidents nationally that founded Sequin, the Continuous Quality Improvement Network that was rebranded a couple years ago as AFIT. Much to my surprise, on the last day of the Institute, I was presented with the AFIT Legacy Award. And you know you're really old when you get legacy awards. So my involvement with the organization then and now has been very rewarding, and I very much appreciate the recognition. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Thorne. Old is only how you imagine it. So I think you are still with us for a long time. And thank you for the kind comments about the election, or in this case, non-election results. That frees us up to do more work. Ms. Butler.
Thank you very much. I too am excited to start the academic year and see all of our students here. And it's been a great meeting, recognizing staff. And I attended the board retreat along with all of us, I think, in August. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. I'm going to move this way down the table to give just a little more time for Ms. Jackson-Long to be ready. So, Ms. Sullivan.
Welcome back, everyone. It's delightful to be with you again, and welcome to all of our students and faculty members. I hope everyone is excited for this year. Did a couple things interspersed in the summer. I did the AD graduation with Rio Salado. That was very impressive, and thank you very much for the invitation to attend. Also, attended governance committee meetings with ACCT and AGB. Somehow they always put me on governance. I don't know what that means. Finance too, but what can I say about that? Attended the board retreat and just wrapped up attending the Association of Governing Boards for Universities and Colleges board meeting in Washington, DC. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. Ms. Davis?
I also I went to the retreat. I don't have much to report either. I did go to see the National Cyber Director at Glendale Community College, which was kind of scary, but good. I learned a lot. But my favorite thing to happen was this last weekend, I went for Froyo, and the girl that I paid money to for my frozen yogurt, I had on my Glendale shirt, and she said, are you a teacher or something at Glendale? And I said, no. Are you a student? And she said, yes. And she told me how much she loved her time at Glendale. And she said that was not her original plan, but she's so glad she has taken this path. And that just made my day.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Ms. Smith?
I will say I hope everyone has a great start to the academic year. And my brief update is that I have taken some time to familiarize myself with CGCC's Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning program, and have written a small op-ed that we hope to get placed just to increase awareness in our community that we have created the first in the nation for the first associate's and certificate program in machine learning. And I've been dabbling in ChatGPT, and I think it's wonderful to have a program that is highly accessible that will make this technology more approachable for members of our community, because I think it'll be one of the most disruptive things that we see certainly in our lifetimes. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson-Long, anything to report?
Yes, definitely. So the fall semester has started for us students, so we're back on a roll. Prior to that, I have safely returned, as you can see, from my study abroad through Mesa Community College in Japan. It was an amazing time, definitely a catalyst and fire of motivation for my pursuit of that second language. Shout out to Mesa for allowing me that opportunity as well as the Gilman Scholarship for funding that opportunity. After that, speaking of Mesa Community College, we've also been working on IELTS training for the Intercollegiate Student Leadership Experience this upcoming fall. Certainly, Mesa students have a certain highlight for leadership. They are doing amazing and just doing great. And it's one thing to have great ideas, but it's another to execute them. And then definitely about that action. So I look forward to your work over there at Mesa Community College. And as well, I spoke for the President Honor Scholars at Gateway Community College. It's going to be my second year as a President's Honor Scholar. And it was great to see the new students and just students who are entering the scholarship and talking about my experience. And really, it's really different for students to have somebody who's going through that similar experience, like a peer, to talk about, the opportunities and that kind of thing. So I was just able to, offer that unique perspective of being in that program and answer any of their questions and anxieties and anything about that. It was just great to see them and see so many people in the Prison's Honor Scholarship Program and see what they offer and how they're going to grow throughout this upcoming semester and this academic year.
Thank you very much. And just to conclude reports, I too participated in the ACCT Public Policy virtual meeting, as well as our Public Affairs Committee meeting for this board. I'm delighted to hear Dr. Rooney say that the board retreat was fun. I'm not sure the rest of us would describe it necessarily that way, but it was productive and useful. We had a very successful board retreat. And then beyond that, many of us have been involved in other activities leading up to things happening in November and will continue to do so. So with that, that concludes my report. I just have two upcoming meeting announcements to provide you. One is for this coming Thursday at 9:30. It is a special executive session for the board at GWCC, and we look forward to seeing all of you there. And then on the 10th, we'll have our regular normal, 10th of September, 4:30, our regular normal agenda review here at the Real Salado Conference Center. With that, I think that is everything, unless there's other business I'm not aware of on our agenda. So seeing none, even though we started late, we got out basically the same time. So that tells me something. We're either moving faster or I'm talking faster. So with that, I will adjourn the meeting at 10 minutes after 8. Thank you.